That's Robert. I do. I'm on Max's email. He sends me like 5.
And what's the purpose of today's demonstration on the archives building here?
Well, the reason we're doing this at the archives is because this is where the Constitution is. And you know, as veterans, we all took an oath to defend the Constitution and the country against all enemies, domestic and foreign. And we feel we have domestic enemies in the White House. We feel this administration is a whole pack of domestic enemies. I mean, there's been war crimes, torture, crimes against humanity. This is done in the name of America. And we just can't tolerate this, you know, without speaking out. We don't want to be silent in the face of it. So what we're doing is we're asking for accountability, and all we're asking for is justice, fair justice under the law. You know, we're not asking for a, what do you call it, some kind of trial without any representation. You know, we'd like to see a fair trial, and we'd like to see justice served.
Now, you're a veteran. What war were you a veteran of, sir?
Well, I wasn't in the war. I was in the United States Army Airborne from 1959 to 1962.
And have the annex of the Bush-Cheney gang kind of made an activist out of you?
I was an activist before. I mean, the problems in America didn't start with the Bush-Cheney. They have just been exacerbated to the point now where we have no choice. I mean, I'm 67 years old. I ought to be retired from this, you know? But we have no choice but to speak out. I mean, if we care for our children and our children's children and all for posterity, we can't let this kind of abuse of power continue without being addressed, because it sets a precedent for every future administration. And what we have now is we have a total imbalance of power, where you were supposed to have 3 facets of government, you know, the Congress, the judicial, and the executive. Right now we have what's called the unitary executive, in effect. In other words, we have a king. So we had a revolution a long time ago to get rid of the king, and now we have another king. Coincidentally, also by the name of George.
And I suppose the fact is, as bad as the Bush-Cheney gang is, the U.S. Congress has been complicit in all this.
Totally complicit, and in my feeling, many of them are guilty of the same crimes. You know, when you're complicit, it's like the Vichy French. Some of them were hung after you know, at the Nuremberg trials. They were hung for being complicit with the Nazis. And you know, some of these people that have a duty, they have a sworn duty to uphold the Constitution. You see what it says on the back of my shirt?
Article 2, Section 4. The President, Vice President, and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanor. U.S. Constitution.
Well, that's the duty of a congressman. Congress is supposed to address this issue. But instead, the administration just thumbs their nose at them. They issue subpoenas, and the people don't come. They don't even care. So there's no respect for law. It's do what you want. And George Bush issues all these signing statements. And not only does he issue the signing statements, but they're secret. So what do we got here? So what's going on with America? You'd expect, why are people just walking around normally? The country's being stolen. It is stolen. And it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better until the people rise up and demand accountability.
How long are the activists going to be here today, do you think?
I think they'll be here 24 hours. They're fasting. They're fasting in remembrance of all those that have died and been killed, and all the people that are suffering and that will die and will suffer because of the crimes of this administration.
So it's not only our troops, but it's the innocent Iraqi people.
There are over 1 million.
The ones that have been dispersed, the ones that have died.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, just on and on.
You know, I don't think I don't think we get it when we realize what it means to destroy a country. A country has been destroyed. An ancient country, on top of that, has been literally destroyed. People don't have drinking water. They don't have clean drinking water. They don't have electricity. The infrastructure is shot. The hospitals don't work. You know, the children are dying every day by the thousands. So it's just terrible. You know, and these are criminal acts. There's no excuse for it. I mean, everybody knows it now. So, and Congress knows it too. But they don't want to have impeachment, because I think if they do, they have to recognize the fact that many of them were told about the torture, for example, well beforehand and did nothing. Now, if you're told about torture and you do nothing about it and you're a congressman, you're complicit. So, you know, that's it. So we've done that. We've gone to Congress. We've appealed to Congress. Many of us are veterans. We've spoken directly to John Conyers, pleaded with him, given him the most eloquent, persuasive arguments of why impeachment should go forward, and nothing. So next step is to protest like this.
Anything else?
That's it. Thank you very much.
Max, you're part of the Pledge of Resistance to the Iraq War, is that correct?
I'm a member of the Pledge of Resistance Baltimore, and I'm also a member of the National Campaign for Nonviolent Resistance, and I'm here today standing outside the archives supporting Veterans for Peace and their call for the indictment of George Bush and Dick Cheney.
And when did this begin, this protest, Max, this morning?
The people were up the steps of the archives approximately 7:20 a.m. and they're still there. The latest developments, as we understand it, the Metropolitan Police Force here in Washington, D.C. indicated they will not arrest, but there's an internal archives, National Archives police force. They have been a little more circumspect. I have a suspicion, being here on March 19th when a similar action took place, there were no arrests, I have a suspicion that they're going to stay away from arrest. My friends are back there on about a 5-foot ledge, up I would guess at least 30 feet or so. And I would hope that the police recognize, while our people are non-violent and would not in any way be belligerent with police, there's still a danger involved in this type of arrest scenario. So we are hoping that the archive police, and we've been here now probably at least 5 hours or so, and there have been no arrests. Nothing has changed. There's a beautiful banner or two up there. People are ready for as long as it takes. I have a suspicion there will be no arrest, but that's something I'm only speculating on. I don't know what's going to be in scenario. If people are arrested, I think that will be a victory, because they'll have an opportunity to bring this issue to court where it belongs.